Let's take a deeper look into the concept of karma and challenge ourselves to truly understand what it means. Karma is a word we hear everywhere, yet very few of us pause to ask, what does it really mean? In ancient Eastern philosophies like Buddhism and Hinduism, karma is not about punishment or reward. Karma is the flow of energy created by our actions, words, thoughts, and intentions. And that energy always finds its way back to us, precisely, subtly, and often unexpectedly. Many people think karma is something that happens to us, as if it were fate written in the sky. But the truth is that karma is something we create every single day, in every small decision we make. Once we understand this, we begin to take responsibility for our lives in a deeper and more meaningful way. Karma doesn't only come from the big things we do. It lies quietly within the smallest moments of our everyday life, like the young woman who once shouted at a poor boy selling lottery tickets. Years later, when she went for a job interview, the man sitting across the table was the boy's father. But instead of holding anger, he chose forgiveness. That moment changed her, softening her heart and teaching her to treat others with gentleness. There was a poor student who carried water upstairs for an elderly woman every morning. He never thought it mattered. But years later, when he applied for a job, the hiring manager turned out to be the woman's daughter, someone who had remembered his kindness since childhood. Sometimes a small act becomes the doorway to an entirely new future. A taxi driver was once insulted harshly by a passenger. Instead of reacting, he simply smiled and said, "I can't choose the situation, but I can choose my attitude." Weeks later, that very same passenger became his new boss. Peaceful energy always returns with grace. A young woman once stopped to buy bread from an old man and gave him a bottle of water. The next morning, she discovered that the company director interviewing her was his son. Kindness always circles back in its own quiet way. Another driver went out of his way to return a lost wallet to a young woman who dropped it on his back seat. Months later, she became the person in charge of hiring him. Honesty is never wasted. A boy once found a lost dog and returned it to its owner. Years later, when he was unemployed and struggling, that same man helped him find a stable job. Helping one living being is enough to plant a seed of goodness for ourselves. A woman who returned extra money at a small shop didn't know the cashier was the aunt of the person who would later give her a loan to start her business. Integrity creates invisible bridges. A teacher used to buy snacks for her poorest student. Many years later, when she grew old and ill, that same student, now a doctor, treated her for free out of deep gratitude. What we sow in a child's heart never disappears. At a riverbank, a man quietly picked up trash every morning, even though people mocked him. A businessman noticed his sincerity and offered him a job supervising environmental work. Good deeds done in silence often carry the greatest power. A young woman offered her seat to an elderly lady on the bus. When she took her driving test the next day, the examiner was the lady's son. Compassion is always witnessed by someone. A construction worker shared half of his simple lunch with a newcomer without knowing he was the contractor's nephew. Generosity opens doors that skill alone cannot. A student greeted the school guard every morning with a respectful bow. One day he lost his wallet, and the guard was the one who found and protected it for him. Respect is karma that quietly shields us. A man once endured harsh words in the rain, but chose not to retaliate. A week later, the same person needed his help after a small accident. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is a gift we give ourselves. These stories remind us that karma is not the universe punishing or rewarding us. Karma is a mirror reflecting who we are inside. Whatever we send out into the world, from our heart, returns to us in a form that matches its essence. When we take responsibility for our intentions and our actions, we contribute to a better world, one small choice at a time. Karma is not distant or mystical. Karma is the energy we release into the world every single moment, and somehow in ways we may never foresee, that energy always finds its way back to us, gently or painfully, depending on what we sow. Thank you for taking the time to explore this deeper understanding of karma with me. If you have ever experienced a moment of karma, big or small, feel free to share it in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming content on karma, compassion, and inner transformation. May you continue to plant beautiful seeds in your life, and may those seeds bloom in ways that surprise and uplift you.